But listen, let's get to the meat of this debate. Okay, this is the real actual point of contention. All right,
We got
because look, we're not trying to come out. We don't, just because we're on opposite sides of the debate doesn't mean we don't like these guys. You know what? I don't like R. Mason Thomas. All right, no, I'm all
you know
right with
what?
like I don't hate him. Okay, but I don't like him
I,
for this team. I don't like him in the first round. I don't like him as a high pick. I think he's a third round pick. Um, I just
I,
think he's overrated. So tell
I,
me why I'm wrong.
I just can't bring myself to tell you the same about Gabe Jacas because I love him too, man. He's great. Um, nah. So really, our Mason Thomas, man. I think this kind of just goes back into what he did at Oklahoma this year. He was freaking awesome. It was game after game after game. You couldn't go. I don't even really recall many times it felt like it was quiet, except for times that he had something hampering him during the game. He had a couple of injuries that he did end up playing through, but outside of that, man, he made Caden Proctor eat his lunch twice. And I mean, I know a lot of people got a lot of shit to say about Caden Proctor, but I mean, it's still kind of one of those things that like uh he
Listen, Caden Proctor eats lunch twice every day without being asked. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he just for me it was just like even going up against a guy twice, you'd think Alabama would have prepared him even further. Like you just played him, you should be able to know how to tailor your game to him, and then he just didn't do it. And it was like, is this guy just that good that he's just like it's just like kind of doing two poster dunks back to back is kind of what it felt like for me watching him. Um, man, there's so many times I watch him that he just plays with heart. If he gets double teamed, if there's a free rusher, he doesn't just bank on the secondary chasing him. He's ditching the whole line and he's still trying to catch up with the corners and stuff. As there's one play that I shared, reposted on Twitter
Yeah.
yesterday that he was double teamed. He had to do a block on him and shed off the guys at the back half of the block and noticed the secondary doesn't have him. I got to step up and get my ass down there and stop the guy. He beat out his corners, his safety, everybody back there, and was able to stop the block just so they didn't get the touchdown. I don't know if the game was on the line or not, but damn, dude, that's effort, that's heart, and that's something that I think Vrabel would look at and say, this dude is a finisher. He plays relentless. He wants to get to the quarterback, and he's pretty damn good at a lot of the things he does. If he could just be a little bit better in the run, stuffing game, that's an area to work on. He's a little undersized, yes, but I think we're talking kind of in a safe zone. Like what was he even listed here as? Just to confirm my numbers, 6'1", borderline 6'2". He's at 241. So we're definitely in like this undersized territory, but it's still a situation that he showed that he can handle numerous blockers. I think taller blockers surprisingly got the edge up on him a little bit. Like so, guys probably in that 6'7", 6'8" range. But even then, Caden Proctor is a pretty dang tall guy too, and he beat him pretty well. What else?
Yeah.
I try to cover my bases with things that are bad as well. Pad level is a little bit of an issue. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Hold on here. Undersized, and then late hands. So late hands was the issue. So if there's times that like he's not the guy getting the first touch when the block's coming through. So he's usually just a little bit behind, doesn't always get through, but he does shake off well, and then kind of ends up winning the rep sometimes. And then the final thing of concern is just durability. He's had a couple of times where he's injured. The one thing I do like, he has played through him, so there is a little bit of that Harold Landry in him that, hey, this shit ain't gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep playing until I can. But it's still those things do catch up with you over time. So just to see, and it's usually been his legs. So that's another kind of Harold Landry similarity as well. All in all, I do like R. Mason Thomas, and I wish I could say I don't like Gabe Jacas, but I freaking love him too. So let's go ahead and make your case for our guy too.
Right. Well, I will say, that R. Mason Thomas stuff, like the production has been over 2 years. Not a lot of people not a lot of people in college beat Will Campbell, but R.
Yeah,
Mason Thomas got him for a sack. I actually have a picture of that play right here.
yeah, that's
Um,
I remember
there
that
we
pretty
are.
well.
That's the two of them lining up against each other right there, just head to
Yeah,
head. Their arms didn't actually even reach each other. It
here,
was
that's mine.
wild.
Yep.
No, it's look, Akis is sorry. R. Mason Thomas is just a guy to me who's like he wins with speed and
Mhm.
quickness, but then when he tested, he wasn't particularly fast or quick. And that worries me a little bit. Like the 4.6740 is not that big a deal. What bothered me was the 1.63 split because for me, the 1.6 is the cutoff. Okay. Especially if you're going to be billed as a quick guy. Uh,
Mhm.
the 1.63 is just, it's disappointing and then at his size too, because he measured in at what was it like 240 and change.
Yeah,
I
241
don't have it right in
was
front
what
of
I
me for
think I
some
have written
reason.
down. I think it was 241, and he was borderline 6'1", 6'2". I didn't have an accurate measurement on mine. That was the one thing I didn't check was the combine measurement. But the last thing I saw was like teetering. I saw two conflicting things. He's rather 6'2" or he's 6'1". Let's find out real quick. See if I can get him on one.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it out. My computer's screwing me.
No, you're good, buddy. Let me see what I got here. Combine profile. Let's see what exactly they measured him at. But also keep in mind too, combine measurements have been pretty awful the last 3 years.
They've
There's
been
been
weird,
a
man.
lot
Like,
of
dude,
weird
you
stuff going on.
literally have one job. This is the
So I
ultimate. Like, you have one job. Stop screwing it up, dude.
yeah, I don't understand who's playing politics out there and that's keeping that job. But that's something. Anywho, no, the combine measurements exact 6'2", 241, 31 5/8 inch arms, and uh 8 inch or yeah, what is it? 8 and 7/8 inches hands. So I mean,
See, that's another
who's
thing. I hate the small hands.
sure.
Dude, the small hands drive me up the wall. Small hands are like a fake big guy to me. It's like you're like I don't like that. The small hands bother me.
I'm trying to remember. There's a guy last year that also had small hands as a defender, and he like. So I'm blanking on. I'm so focused on this class right now. There was another guy that was out that was an edge last year that he had smaller
Yeah.
hands too. Some people had an issue on, but whatever. It might come back to me. I might even just message
I mean,
you
I'm
on it
not saying you can't.
yeah,
Yeah, like I'm not saying you can't be successful because you have smaller hands or whatever. It's just a red
sure.
flag to me that bothers me, and it's unique to me, and I get that. It's my weird little quirk, and it is what it is. But listen, when you want to talk about production, okay, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about Gabe Akis, and you want to talk about multi-year production. Again, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about Gabe Akis because you go back to 2023 when he had 4 sacks. You can go back to 2024 when he had 8 sacks, or you could go back to last year when he had 11. This is a guy who's had like 27, I think, at his career college sacks. We saw him rack up 2 against Northwestern, and this took me longer than it probably should have, mostly because I am technologically retarded in my old age. But I managed to cut this video up right here. Oh, see, look, it's ending as I'm awesome. Nice. All right. Let's see. That's Caleb Tiernan there at left tackle. And again, it goes right around him, takes the quarterback down. That was one of 2 sacks in that game for Gabe Akis. Look, he's effective in the pass rush game. I think he's good in the run defense game also. Not great, but he's not a liability. He's solid. This is a kid who you don't have any real questions about size. He did come in at a different size at the combine than he's listed. He was listed 6'3", 275, and his combine size was 6'4", 260. So little smaller than we thought, which is I was actually kind of late to the party on Akos because I was working my way from the smaller pass rushers up because I knew that's
Mhm.
kind of what we preferred. And then we brought in Draymond Jones, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can start looking at some of these guys in the 260s too.
Sure.
And Akis really just caught my eye. Like he's got a motor that never quits too. He plays through the whistle. Long 33-inch inch arms, 10-inch hands, those big old mitts. I like that. Put up 30 reps on the bench. And he's got the size, he's got the power. You see the explosion, and he plays with his hand down and in his hand up. So he's
Yeah,
versatile in that way that I just don't see. Like, our Mason Thomas is not going to put his hand on the ground and like move in the NFL at all. But Gabe Jacas probably can. So I could see him in kind of a similar Draymond Jones type of role behind him, you know?
yeah. I think either or. One quick note I wanted to say on Gabe Akis was, uh, I absolutely love the film junkie out of him because he's a two sport athlete. He went from wrestling to football, and to be better at football, got himself in the film room, and he just stayed in there and he figured out every single guy. Every time he's about to play somebody, he's in the film room. He's locked in. He's watching every single movement they make, rep after rep after rep after rep after rep, and he just comes in with an excellent game plan, immediately takes that to the field for practice, and then just works with pretty much their rather the O line coach or somebody's like watching the film with him. So he's basically immediately just do it like taking on the exact blocking assignment that he's expected to face. I think it's pretty cool how much he locks in and does it. Great, both of these guys are great locker room leaders, rah rah guys. I did want to say there was one note I did forget to mention on our Mason Thomas. He does have the fastest get off. Like when he's on the line, if you watch him, just watch him hand planted in the ground, dude's immediate speed, quickest get off, dude. It's awesome. So if you get
Yeah,
time
it's
later
just
on,
weird it didn't translate in the workouts.
yeah. He also had a procedure done. He missed the Senior Bowl because he had a procedure, but he was able to make the combine. I think I don't know if he had a knee scope or something was done. I don't know. That stuff wasn't really unfortunately disclosed. He had some sort of procedure done, caused him to miss the Senior Bowl, and then I don't know if
Man,
he
he
just
really does sound like Harold Landry.
should have sat it out. I think personally, I hate to say it because I don't really like want it to kind of be like one of those things, coulda, shoulda. But
Yeah.
if he sat it out, I think we'd probably be looking at him a little bit better in some regards instead of testing. So
Yeah, that makes sense too. I mean, certainly some of those testing numbers can, sometimes they don't help you. sometimes,
no, no,
sometimes they're not a good reflection of what you're seeing on the field too. And look,
no,
I've openly said it too. There are many examples of dudes that like go out there, blow up the combine, like run crazy fast or whatever, but they just don't play crazy fast. It's not always perfectly translatable. That's for sure.